Galatians. So hopefully we might get through this. I mean, how much I end up talking. Galatians 5:13 says, "For brethren, ye have been called unto liberty, only use not liberty for an occasion to the flesh." Okay? "But by love serve one another." We have liberty to do anything we want to do. Amen. Amen. No. It says the scripture in the Bible says all things are lawful unto thee, but not all things are profitable. I can do it, James, but it would be good for me to do it. Basically what I'm saying. So I guess you just, kind of like the old saying, you gotta pick your battle. See, I can't do this if I want to, but it would be good for me to do it. They're confused. What would be the effects? What do you think about that? What do you think about that, Early? We have the liberty to do anything we want to do. So why don't we do it? Ain't that the truth? We know, hey, I can do this, but if I do this, I know me, I'll end up going to this. I'm going to keep right on trucking. And then I'll do more trucking songs over that. Alright? So, a lot of people, especially, like some of us have been in some churches that are very, very strict about everything, in a way I can see some of them in a way they, carry a little bit too far. Now, when I was coming up in the first Pentecostal church I was in, you couldn't go to the movie theater. Oh, no movie theater. You couldn't even have TV. No, you couldn't rent a video. No ball game. You could not go to a ball game. Camden Park. No. You couldn't go to Camden Park. You go to hell. Now, I don't know what's wrong. That's just an excuse they can't. It's a worldly place, yeah. The pumpkin festival built. Oh no. It was a pumpkin festival. You go to hell. Yeah, pretty much. They really loosened up. Even the church that I came out of now, going to the movies. I got called on the carpet for a gold, just a little thin gold wedding band that I had on my finger. My pastor back then said, "Hey, put me in his office. Got it with me." Get that off there right now. Put it in your pocket and never put that like that back in the church. Yeah. So, but now the church, the same church, of course, the same pastor, but same church that I came out of, my goodness, they look like Hollywood now. Even the preacher's wife got a diamond that if she let me pawn that, I could pay the church on. And they go to the movie theater now. They have movies at the pumpkin festival now. So yeah, a lot of things have changed. Man, them, they always had a scripture they could throw out there. And they would tell you that's what that scripture means. Okay? And I'd look at it and I'd say, you say something. Okay? Because I wasn't get into a big debate with them. Oh, I know you. Yeah. Yeah. Everybody in church does. See, what Sister Ross ain't telling you though? Singer she wanted to go down to the riverfront to see, Little Richard. Yeah. But anyway, liberty, you know, but the thing about this though, some people can't handle liberty. It's just like in my business, in the insurance business, I don't have to punch a time clock. You know, I'm out there all day. Pretty much setting on appointments, doing my own thing. Some people though cannot handle not having restraints on because they cannot handle the liberty of being free. Is that making sense to y'all? Sure. All righty, let's move on. Verse 14, for all the law is fulfilled in one word, even in this, thou shalt love thy neighbor as thyself. Well, I like this next one. But if ye bite and devour one another, take heed that ye be not consumed one of another. Do we do that in the church house? Bite and devour one another? Yeah. That's good. Yes. Yeah. Unless you let it overcome you, then you'll never overcome it. And one thing that, thank God, I always knew it and I lived by it until I went into the Pentecostal church. Then they changed my people of it. And now get back. I always had this saying that I just always had this way. But live and let live. That's this way. Let Sister Rice, let her, everybody. Live your life the way you want to live. Whatever that's like, as long as you make it through doing that, crazy. Okay? Live and let live. But people bite and devour on one another. Timmy Rice don't do what I think he should be doing. I will eat his own food. I'll try to make him live the way I think that he should live, whether that's the way he wants to do it or not. And I believe that's what causes a lot of friction with people in churches. Is one, we try to get our nose in everybody else's business. Yeah, can't go to the movies, can't go to the pumpkin festival. You know, can't go to Camden Park. I remember used to, we couldn't even go into a restaurant to eat if it sold alcohol in that restaurant. They would, oh, no, my God. Our pastor killed us.
I don't care how good the food is.
Yep. That's
I mean, that's me.
yeah, that's you. Now me, I think I'll go into the bar. I go in the bar and I sit and talk to people. I go into the restaurants and serve what? Alcohol? What?
Ain't you served in the States? You do it in person?
No, sir.
It's all fake.
No.
You walk in and sit down.
Yeah.
And you make yourself welcome and get home.
No. They serve alcohol. Where you find your groceries at?
Right. I'm trying to where you want to ball. People go in there, I mean, drug dealers have been preached against, they're grown from the street, life and killing and cussing and violence and all this stuff. And then you turn around tomorrow, Sunday afternoon, and you go right there in the car, same one, preaching on Sunday morning. But the people in there commit adultery and everything else. And you go over there and you sit down and you have dinner in the same seat that those people were in.
Here's the way I see it, and you got your belief. That's fine, me. Yeah, that's fine, me. But here's the way I see it. Me, and believe me, most of church people have your belief, and they'll back you up 100% in. But me, those people sitting in that bar room, those people sitting at the let's name that place down on Third Avenue, got real good food, but they got a bar next to it. Applebee's, okay. It's a bar.
I know it is. It's classified as a restaurant rather than a bar.
But they still serve.
I feel like that Patty, but
Yeah, it's a restaurant, it's a cafe.
that is a bar.
It's a cafe. It's registered as a cafe.
When I was driving the truck, 1 o'clock in the morning, I'm out there at the driver. They people out there fighting and everything else.
Yeah.
That ain't no restaurant.
Yeah.
That's a bar.
Well, anyhow, the way I see it, you know, no matter what the name, whether they call it restaurant, cafe, bar, tavern, nightclub, okay. The way I see it, and it's just me, you know, and all some of my friends, even some of my preacher friends have seen me going in that bar. Like, we seen me going in the bar, so that's not. What's the name of it? I tell them, they do it. The people sitting in there, they need me. They need me. Okay? Right? And here's the thing, how are we going to reach the world if we isolate ourselves from the world? Now, I don't, we don't have to partake from him. I don't go in there and get drunk. I don't go in there and look for no women. You know, God knows I got one good thing in that. Don't anymore. Okay? Don't go in there. But the thing about it is, we need to influence, the way I said, we need to influence the world that we live in. Jesus done it. The disciples, they looked at him, they asked his disciples, they said, why is it that your master goes and hangs out with publicans and sinners, and he won't come and do lunch with us? And Jesus said, well, for this simple reason. Those that are sick, they need a physician. They need it. There's no use for me to come and eat lunch with the Pharisees and Sadducees because they believe they don't need me. So I would be wasting my time going talking to them, where you got these people down here focusing on the sinners. They need me. And so my take on this, and everybody, just liberty, everybody has the right to believe what they want to believe or not. I got no problem with it. You want to do it, don't do it. I think that we need to reach these people. And I can't reach them and talk to them if I isolate. See, that's the biggest thing that sinners that I talk to, they say, no, you people in the church think y'all better than us. But y'all don't, people in the church, we put off a air that maybe just because we're saved, they think we believe that we're better than them. And so therefore they don't want one. Yeah, and I'm not telling everybody, because some people, to be honest with you, some people don't need to go into a bar or a place like Timmy's talking about where they serve alcohol. They can't handle it. They're weak. They go in there, and the next thing you know, I've seen someone out the door falling on the sidewalk. Right? And so, after Sunday school, yeah, that's true. Some people can't handle it, and so Timmy's right in that respect. Some people shouldn't go into a place like that because they can't handle it. Yeah. I'm the same way, but I'm running the same one in my house. I was the same way when I first got saved. One of my biggest struggles was staying out of the beer tavern. Because, man, I may tell you, after I got saved, that's all that did was just whoop my head. Bill, you're bored to death. There you are, sitting here eating peanut butter and jelly sandwich, watching this crazy show. You could be right over there in the blue room, drinking you a nice cold one, eating a steak sandwich. And I'm saying, you know what? You're absolutely right. Man, and right now, nice steak sandwich off that grill over the blue room and a nice big old Paul City steak. But you know what I say to the church? You know what? I know me though. I'll eat that steak sandwich. I'll break that first Paul City. And then I'll have to drink 6 or 8 more to get the taste of that steak sandwich out of my mouth. And so that it was a struggle with me. Because I knew Sister Early, if I drink one of them, I ain't stopping. I keep right on the phone. So, and see, that's where you have to learn all things are lawful for me, but is it profitable? I can do it, but should I do it? You know what I'm saying? Everybody can think, because everybody looks down the wall out here. Yes, sir.
Christ came to bear all sin, right? But when the person praying, did he want that back and he's not want to pay that sin before the one?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Now he's a high priest that has been touched with any infirmity.
He said, we have not a high priest who has not been touched by the feeling of our infirmity, but in every point has been tempted the same way me and you are, but he didn't get into the temptation fire. Yeah. So he knows what it's like. When we go to him and we say, you know, it's funny how we categorize things in the church. We got a little sin that rises with that ain't bad. You know, I hate her. That's the thing about it. Yes, it is. Right? Talking about people. You know,
back to life and power and overcome that.
Yeah. But then we got other sins that we say, that's right, I would never drink a lot of alcohol. So down there, they messing around with somebody. That's terrible. I'd never do that. Right? And that's, oh my God. And then we get it in our head, you know, and well, I can talk about Tracy the Tinder. You know, I can just eat her up. Tear her up. And we don't see nothing wrong with that. Okay? But still sin. Right? And then we get in our head, you know, I really don't have to admit it. Talk about Tracy. Because I think it's true. Okay? But if a drink of beer or God forbid, you know, somebody was having an affair or something like that, we get it in our head, this is a terrible thing. I'm going to tell you something. In the church, the modern day church, you can get forgiven for almost anything. You can kill somebody and they'll forgive you. You can go rob the bank in Chesapeake, they'll forgive you in the church. That's the truth. If you have an affair and you're never forgiven all the days of your life, my friend, that in the church today, that is the unpardonable sin. Oh, that's my shot. Yeah. So, you know, we've got some problems. So therefore they put it in a lot of people's minds in the church. That's why a lot of people who, you know, they fall into immorality or they do something like that, they'll just leave the church and never come back. Because it has been drilled into their head, we're not going to forgive you, and God is not going to forgive you. So they just go, I'm done. But what do you do? I know preachers, fantastic, powerful preachers, that has fallen into immorality and that was put into their head years before. So when they did, they just left the ministry, left the church, they need the church today. Threw the ministry away, they're gone, they're done. But, you know, the thing about this, God will forgive us for anything. People might not, but God will. Oh, worse. Worse. You know, and I don't know where this somehow becomes the unpardonable sin in modern day Christianity. determine anybody else's business. See, it's a funny thing in the church. We determine what we think is our business. That's the number one sin in the whole church right there. Get right on that head, buddy. Gossip. Yeah, so, I don't know when it became that, the other part of the sin. The Bible says the other part of sin is blasphemy. And, that's what we're talking about. Moral failure is not blasphemy. If it was, David would be in hell. Moses, Abraham, Lot, Samson, about a whole bunch of them in the Old Testament. Big majority of the New Testament. They all been in trouble. But it's funny what we determine is our business. I believe if we would spend as much time minding our own business as we did everybody else's, we would probably have enough to do. Ain't that true? Right. And you know what? I think one of the greatest scriptures in all the Bible, Brother James, is this. It says this, and I think this is a perfect portrayal of Christ. If you see your brother and sister taking it, ye with your spirit restore such a one with the spirit of meekness. Consider thyself also, lest ye fall into condemnation and spare the death. That verse tells me that very few spiritual people in modern day Christian church. As he said, ye with your spiritual, you're going to restore. Ye with your carnal, you're going to eat their lunch. Right? And I mean, that's about anything. Us in the church, this has got some more good stuff. Y'all ready? Am I boring y'all already? All right. This I say then, walk in the Spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. Right? I think that's pretty self-explanatory. If you walk in the Spirit, you ain't going to be messing around. Right? For the flesh lusteth against the Spirit, and the Spirit against the flesh. And these are contrary the one to the other, so that ye cannot do the things that ye would. If you're spiritual and you're praying, got a good relationship with God, Sandy, you probably think won't do something great. Am I right? Probably won't. You might get tempted to do it, but depending on what your relationship, how your spiritual condition is at that point, will determine whether you give in to the temptation or if you're able to resist the temptation. Am I right? Right. Now, some of y'all have never failed or never done nothing. You ain't going to understand what I'm talking about. Okay? But if you've been in my boots, you won't understand exactly what I'm talking about. Right? If we stay, we stay right, we're going to stay right. If we ain't right, we're going to do wrong. Okay? Verse 18. But if ye be led of the Spirit, you're not under the law. Thank God. And we ain't under the law, my friend. Oh my God. Thank God.
We said last week, there's the law kills and the Spirit heals.
Right. That's good. The law will kill you. We can't, honey, let me tell you something. I don't care how spiritual we think we are not spiritual enough to keep the whole law. We can't do it. Okay? Now, verse 19. Now, the works of the flesh are manifest, which are these. Okay? These are the works of the flesh. So if you're getting thoughts like this, or you're giving in to thought temptations like this, you can know you ain't spiritual. Okay? There's been a breakdown somewhere. Adultery. Somebody tell me what adultery is. Absolutely. I think that's the truth. Mm-hmm. And I believe that you'll give in to spiritual adultery before you ever do the act of natural adultery. You have an affair with a spirit, and you're entertaining a spirit that is going to lead you into entertaining somebody else. Okay? Now, some of y'all just totally born here. Adultery. Adultery. What's that first one there saying? Adultery. Adultery. Not idolatry. Adultery. Adultery is where y'all live. We're going there. Hold on. We're on the first one here. Okay? Don't be jumping ahead of me. I got the microphone. Adultery. So these are works of the flesh. Okay? And like I said, we'll get into spiritual adultery before we get into any physical adultery. Because we entertain spirits, thoughts, everybody say imagination. Some people, well, all people, everybody will have it up here before they ever act it out. Jesus even said that in one place. And he said, I'm going to tell y'all something. That if a man looks upon a woman and he lusts after her, he's already committed adultery with her. Where at? In his heart. Absolutely. He, she, I don't care who it is, the man, the woman. It's already happened up here before it ever transpires anywhere else. Absolutely. But the Bible says, as a man thinketh in his heart, that's what he's going to do. Alright? Well, pretty much if you're thinking it, you'll end up doing it if you keep thinking about it, believe me. Okay? You're just a hop, skip, and a jump away from catastrophe. You really are. You need to, that's why I tell you, you need to get control of your mind. We just don't understand how powerful our mind is. Our mind is going to really keep us straight, or our mind is going to mess us up.
Now, listen to somebody, for instance, if I look at somebody and do that,
You're married. You shouldn't even have them in you. You've already got a dinner. You don't need a new music. You need help. No, Dad, I mean, you look at, you know, you look at anybody and say, well, you know, she's good, she is pretty, or look at him and say, he's good looking man. That's not what I'm talking about, folks. What I'm talking about is you sit there and you look at this person and you think, first chance I get, I'm gonna talk to them, see where they're at, we'll see where they can, how far they can go. And just depending on what we're gonna do. Then you're in trouble. Luther Vandross. You need that. You know what? Let's move on. Fornication. Somebody tell me what fornication is. You got adultery, then you got fornication. They differ. What's the difference? Darlene? Sexual perversion. Actually, fornication is where we get, if you trace that back, it comes from a root word, porneia, which is where we get our modern English word, pornography. Okay? You got adultery. What's that, Virgin? Oh, that's about that. Yeah. Yeah. So you got adultery, which we all know what that is. Then you got fornication, which comes from the root word porneia, which is where we get our word pornography, which is all kinds. Oh man, that just covers a whole slew of stuff. You know that. Some people today, they should not have TVs, they should not have computers, they should not be able to purchase magazines, because they can't handle none of it. Right? Absolutely. Yep. Offer up things to idol God. Okay. And that's another thing is you all actually people, well, what we would call perverts today. And all of us know we've seen somebody who's among them. They're perverts. They're perverts. Right? But think about this, friend. Porneia, fornication, when we give ourselves up to our own lust, our own desire, when our body controls us and we can't control it. You understand what I'm saying? You have to be able. Now, let me tell you something. A lot of preachers, they ain't going to teach none of this stuff. They ain't going to tell you this stuff. Oh my God, people lose bobby pins out of hair because somehow you got people sitting in churches, got 15 kids, Sister Earlene, got their hair stacked to the ceiling, got the dresses easy taped to their ankles. But they'll swear up and down they ain't never done anything sexual and they have no idea where them kids came from. Now, y'all know that I'm telling you the truth. They'll, oh my God. And if you bring up anything like that, they'll sit back there like this. You know, I'm thinking, kind of old kids. You know. And that's why we've got so much of this stuff going on in the church house too. Because one, preachers won't teach about it because people get ticked off when you talk about it because they think, well, this ain't something that should be talked about. This, what I do in my house is my business. Well, yeah, it's your business. Just don't bring your business in the church or bring it in the street. It's your business, keep it behind your door. Okay? Absolutely. Keep it in your bedroom and don't be bringing it in the street. In the church house. But next thing you know, start getting a divorce. Why you get a divorce? Well, we ain't got no physical relationship. And so therefore, she sleeps with this in the house, I'm sleeping with this into the house, and if I have to live like this, I'll just live by myself. Okay? There you go. Okay? Got no relationship. And then the next thing you know, when that happens, well, then he's out looking over here, she's out looking over here. Then one of them messes up. Then they bring it into the church, right? And it affects their whole family, the children, the grandchildren, whoever, you know. And it all goes back, but we don't want that preacher talking about that stuff. Okay? Or one of them gets wrapped up in pornography. That's a big problem in America today. Because it's so accessible on computers and everything. And I'm talking about not just people in the honky tonk, I'm talking about people in the house of God, or the Holy Ghost, baptized in Jesus' name, and they messed up with pornography. Absolutely. What they say that affects everybody. Everybody knows you. Everybody around you. It affects your children, affects your grandchildren, affects people that you go to church with, friends. You know, it's a snowball effect. Anybody like me that has had my downfall and when I fell and messed up and left the church, it didn't just affect me, by God, it affected my family, it affected the friends I had at that time, it affected everybody around me for years. Yeah, messed everything up. You know. My mother was one point, she was so proud of, oh yeah, that's a new preacher, and the next thing you know, she was down there drunk. My mom said, I don't know, that's his dad, he's his daddy's son. No more, I was her son, now I'm Bill's son. Yeah. And for years, she was very embarrassed with me. So, anything, let's move on. Uncleanliness, lasciviousness, all goes back to the same thing. Impure thoughts, you know, having unclean imagination, you know, all those things. Now, praise we're on the idolatry, okay? Idolatry, that's what Brother James was talking about back here. Giving ourselves over to idol gods in our life. Friend, let me tell you, you can make anything an idol in your life. And the only thing that it takes is getting involved with the wrong spirit. Okay? Yes, sir. That's his idol. Yeah. Do you think, anybody in here think you've almost made an idol out of things in your life? Any going on from the blood? Huh? What about you, Eileen? I like to do it. Yeah. Yeah, it's, a pork chop. I got almost laid out. I'm bad on pork chop. But,
got rid of my computer because of that. I mean, I get on it, I didn't go on the internet, I got on there and just played these stupid games. 3, 4, 5 hours, and I thought, I could be studying. So I got rid of my computer, I tried to get it up, and I changed myself in there, especially when I didn't have any to bring it in. There I did, and I thought, no, I got rid of it.
I mean, there's just some things we can't handle in our life. Because if we got it in our life, we will make an idol out of it. We really will. I mean, there's some things that we just cannot handle. And all that. And you know what? The devil knows that. When he sees that we've got a tendency for certain things, he's right there. If we give in to anything, if he knows we're easy to give in to anything, okay, it's just like it's church night. Oh, yeah. I work hard, I gotta get up early, And so, therefore, the devil knows that. Because we have voiced it so many times. And so getting on your back is going to hurt the world. When it's time to go to church. Right? Absolutely. And come Monday, it ain't hurt. It's still better today, Brother Bill. Now I see you over at Walmart. Right? But it was working last night. And it's just a spirit. The devil knows how to put certain, because we've already set the idol out there. He's just putting the spirit that makes that idol alive in our life. We have built the idol. He just breathes the spirit into it that makes that thing alive and non-productive in our life. Absolutely. Yeah, come see God, so they make golden calf. And that golden calf represents every immoral thing that was inside of that bunch. Don't we build our own idol. We really do. Because we put our own temptations out there and our own weaknesses, And we can, let me tell you something, we can say anything we want and use it for an excuse. God, let me tell you something. I might say, oh, well, bless you, Lord. But God says, I like to slap you just close it. Well, they done it when he was here. It ain't gonna make any, that's the thing about people. It don't make any difference whether Jesus is physically standing here or he ain't physically standing here. If we get it in our minds we're going to do something, we're going to do it if it's here, let's say it. And it's true. People will do it. God gave us His Word, and His Word is just as binding and good as the people standing here in the flesh. We override that word, so if he was here in the flesh, after a while, we would override what he was saying if he was standing. Because we, by nature, have a rebellious spirit. Huh? They done it then. My God, rebellion was today was back then. All my answers is we're the light. Supposed to be the light. I'm in there with can we bring light to the world when we can't even keep a candle burning in our own house? Yeah. We're flickering, we can't be no light. Right? Ain't that true? How can we reach the people out there when 98% of our time and effort is spent on just trying to keep us straight? Keep ourselves straight.
I had to think the other day, on Facebook, and somebody put something on there about Jesus is the one or whatever, and somebody looked at it and no, I want it. I thought, man, how did I get it? I thought I was on the computer, I thought, how do I get over there to that guy? I don't know where the mountain. It's closer than my face, and that's the first thing I think.
Yeah. So,
The people want to hear, and want to hear the light of the Lord.
but ain't nobody else.
Ain't nobody gonna talk to them. Right.
What about us in the church? What's he gonna say to us? You know, the one thing that we have problems with in church is being honest with ourselves about our condition, where we're at. I'm doing as good as they are. Well, maybe you are, but they ain't doing so good. Right? We all the time want to compare ourselves one to the other. Really? Well, I'm doing as good as Timmy. Why ain't you on Timmy? Okay? But we shouldn't compare ourselves one to the other. We need right here.
We need one-on-one with God.
Am I following this? Am I doing what God called me to do? Okay? I can't do what God called Timmy to do, so I can't compare myself to Timmy. I can't compare myself to E.S. Harper. I can't do what E.S. Harper can do. I can't preach like E.S. Harper. I ain't got a college degree like him. You know. I can't do what he does, so I can't compare myself to him, Sister Charlene. I got mine not from a college. Okay? You can tell that. And thank God. Yeah. Nobody else like it. So we shouldn't compare ourselves on each other. Am I doing what God called me to do?
God calls you to preach His word, and you will that book is going to be spoken in your head automatically, and then you're going to preach God's word. You ain't going to have somebody that's telling you how to do it, and how to preach the word, making you a preacher.
Right. I did say, and I believe with all my heart, if He calls you, He'll qualify.
Right.
You know, I don't need to go to school. I didn't like school. I can't even hardly speak the Queen's English. You know. So we got idolatry. And then what does idolatry lead into? Everybody say this word. Witchcraft. Everybody say witchcraft. Yeah, buddy. We start entertaining spirits. Huh? Necromancy, that's part of witchcraft. Yep. Dealing with familiar. Everybody say, oh boy, now this is modern day Christianity right here. Everybody say familiar spirit. Everybody say familiar spirits. Necromancy and familiar spirits. See, here's our problem. We've got, because we run our mouth too much, and we talk too much, the devil listens to us, Tracy, and he sees the idols that we set up and worship in our life, and he breathes life into the idol that is controlling us, okay? And the things that we're involved in, so he brings familiar spirits into our life through other people and other means to get our thoughts and our life off track.
So we can influence, with our familiar spirits, we're drawing them with us.
Yeah. And you know what though? We get messed up with idols and stuff in our lives, and you know what he's going to do? We're going to attract people that's messed up with the same kind of idols. And next thing you know, we're going to have a nucleus of people that is messed up like us, and we're going to feed off one another and say, well, we must be right because there's other people believe just like I believe and doing just like I'm doing, so it must be of God, it must be right. No, it ain't either. It's familiar spirits that Satan has put into our life to keep us distracted from the truth of God. And we've done it all by ourselves because we set up an idol in our life and started spending more time and more effort worshiping that thing than we did worshiping God. And so God sent all these people around that has a familiar spirit, a spirit like us, or something that we can relate to. See, that's how all these wackos get people to come to their churches. The Jim Joneses and the David Koreshes and all these morons and wackos. Because they've set up an idol and they're worshiping it, and then Satan sends all these other people with this familiar spirit around them, and the next thing you know, they got a nucleus, and now they're just feeding off each other. Ain't got nothing to do with God anymore. It's got to do with the idolatry in their life. Absolutely. Yeah. And just like what he's talking about, say we have been, just like Timmy said, Timmy don't like to go in no place or about them. That's fine then. Timmy shouldn't be in any places no about. Okay? If you don't like being in, you shouldn't be in it. But then you take somebody like me, okay? I'm going there. Now I can handle it. Bother me a bit. And the thing about it is, I can relate to those kind of people because I was one of those kind of people. And so we got a familiar spirit. Hey, I know where I've been, where you're at right now. I wasn't a drunk. I was a pocket. I had a moral for cockroach. Okay? And they can see a lot of people like that, they don't see no hope for tomorrow. Because all they've ever known is their life has been this way. And you can go to them and say, hey, look. And if they know you, they say, hey, I know how you used to be. Because you drank with me. I used to eat my bottle of it. I know how you were. But I see how things are now. So you're right on that. Yeah. Well, I mean, that's just, something she wants to do. She ain't never been crazy. She should have been. Dutch. Yeah. Dutch can relate to them people. Because Dutch is even when we was in the bar, Dutch has always been a very compassionate person for everybody. This always has, and she can relate to them with. Yeah, but she's had a rough life. And seeing there's people that God can send each and every one of us in here that has a familiar spirit to us. somebody that we can relate to. Yeah, you know, I mean, you got bad familiar spirits, and then, you know, you got these other familiar spirits of somebody that is in a place where you've been at one time, that they need somebody like you. Hey, I know, and you've been where I've been. And if God can bring Timmy Rice out, there's hope for me. You know, Earlene, know where you've been. Know all about you. And if God can fix her up, then there's hope for me. Right? Because they can relate to us. Where, you know, let's face it, friends, not all people in the church, we can't, even us, we can't relate to it. I can't relate to religious people. I just have a real problem relating to them folks. Or the other one, they either can't or they choose not to. And most of them choose not to. You know, you do have people, especially in Pentecost, one of four is for. You know, daddy was a preacher, granddaddy was a preacher, daddy's a preacher, they're training me to be a preacher. I ain't never smoked a cigarette, I ain't never drank a can of beer, I ain't never had no relationship with no woman. Yeah, that's why you need to know.
Especially the ones that make other people feel like they're better.
Yeah, and they try to make us who has been out in the world, they try to make us like you know, you should have been like this. And it's hard for them, Sister Ross, to go out here and walk up and down Dalton Avenue, 10th Avenue, and see people on crack and see people down and out and be able to say, you know what, there is help. You know, they don't know there's help for people. They ain't never done that. They ain't been outside the four walls of the church. Oh no, they ain't gonna touch it. No, they're not going to into my suit. Right. Yeah. How you deal with the situation? Absolutely. How you deal with the situation? You know, we got to get to the place where we have compassion for people and quit fighting and devouring one another. You know. Yeah. You know. Because let's face it, there ain't one person walking in shoe leather. I don't care how religious they look. I don't care how good they look. Something has went on in their life. I don't care. You know, they all put their pants on the same way we do, one leg at a time. I don't care how goody they have. You know. But think about this, friends. We got to get this one thing right here in our mind. We got a world out here that needs us. And we need to get ourselves into shape to where we don't spend 98% of our time just trying to keep ourselves straight. We need to spend about 10% of our time keeping ourselves straight, and the other 90% out there helping them people. It's time that we decide, hey, I'm either going to grow up and do this, or I'm just going to sit down and suck my thumb and die a baby. That plain enough.
Amen.
Like you say, you're in the world, but you're not of the world. I want to read another day. It's good that a ship is in the sea, but it's bad when the sea gets into the ship.
I think that's the truth. Yeah. Yeah. That's good. I like that. That's right. How long have you been in church? And you know what? Let me tell you something, Chris. That's a crying shame. I'm telling you what's the truth. I have no idea what these old preachers are teaching people, but they never taught them, look, you take responsibility when you grow up. You know, they can't. I'm telling you what they done. They want to keep us so much under their thumb that they didn't give us the opportunity to grow up. So we just stayed a baby because they was telling us everything to do and how to live and all that anyhow. So we really didn't. You know. I mean, just like my daughter, as long as I was, my stepdaughter, as long as I was dishing out money, she wasn't going to get a job. She didn't need one. Well, Dad was keeping her in her crackhead food. Okay? But when I got to the point, I said, hey, you know what? You or that and him, or you dirtbags is getting a job. I ain't sending no more checks. Right? Hey, grow up, man. You know why? Old Dad ain't feeding them. They get hungry enough, they'll get a job. Right? Huh? Yeah, you got what they call that tough love. So I told her, I said, hey, as long as you're with that moron, not another penny from old Dad. Get rid of him. I'll bring you back here. I'll help you. Next thing I know, she's calling me, hey, you come close to it. But you see, that's what we need. We just need to grow up and get the idols out of our life. Don't give in to the idols of your life. Right? Everybody say right. Right. Give me 5 more minutes. Everybody say witchcraft. Hatred. Oh, don't be hating people. Let me tell you something. You know that only hurts you. That don't hurt them. If you hate somebody, they can live with it. But every time you see them, you mad or with it. Am I right? So don't be hating. Variance. Everybody say variance. Anybody know what this word variance means? Yeah, and difference. Variance. Making a difference in people. Huh? Yeah. And no, that's now, Timmy, Sister Raw, they do the same thing. But now, Sister Raw, I'm going to give her Timmy the butt. So I'm going to let slide with Timmy. But I'm going to have to talk to her. And Sister Raw, and you know what? Sister Raw say, well, he's doing the same thing. Why aren't you talking to him? Variant. My buddy, right? Making a difference. Happens every day, though. Yeah. The preacher got a big tithe payer sitting back here. That tithe payer, mean and ornery, and doing something mean and ornery. And got somebody over here that, might not even be paying tithes. Then they'll do the same thing. That preacher say, well, I got to go over here and talk to them. But if I'm saying things to them, they'll get mad. They'll take their tithe. And I'll have to trade my Cadillac in on a shed. Oh, I have to. Seen it too many times. Absolutely. Let me tell you something. What caused me to make a decision to leave my home church and go to Point Pleasant was over a situation just like this. We had a family in the church back then. They was supposed to be whatever. But anyway, they had money. Okay? And we owned that school across there, Lincoln School, at that time, and there was a boy that I'd known. His family didn't have money, but he was a talented young man, sing, just very good boy. Okay? Well, he wasn't a boy, he was a man. But this other family, their son was a spoiled brat. And he's a grown man too, but he was a spoiled brat. They got over there playing basketball, he got ticked off, turned around and busted this other boy upside his head. Well, I knew this boy, I went to high school with him, he's a couple years younger than me. He's not the type of boy you want to bust upside his head. So when this boy busted him upside the head, he just let him begin to pour him a boot all over at the gym floor. Well, the pastor we had at that time, his mom and daddy came in the office when the pastor brought the two boys in the office, brought in witnesses, and everybody said, well, he started, he busted his church. Well, his mom and daddy proved it, ready to leave church and take all their money with them. Both of them was in the choir saying this kind of stuff. Well, this boy got set down. This boy nothing ever happened. He's still singing in the choir, still playing the trumpet. Hurt this boy. Well, he left the church and is not back in church today. That's been 25 years ago. Oh, destroyed this young man. Destroyed him. And he was one of the most fantastic singers. I mean, he could sing like the old. He used to sing in all camp stuff. What way? He's just a great person. Destroyed. When that happened, Brother Kenny, and I seen because of the pastor's decision over money. So my family was raised in church here. So, but it happens like she said, it happens every day. People make differences in people due to whatever reason. I've told y'all this, and Sister Carol can tell you, Brother Roger can tell you. I've said it for 15 years. Anybody walks in the door back here, and if they wear a $500 suit, they got a roll of $100 bills in their hands, they're going to drop the offering. Somebody walks in there, and they ain't got 2 cents in their pocket. We don't make differences. Don't do it. You won't have to talk with me. It ain't going to be free. I don't make differences in them. And I don't think we should. Really don't. Okay. Both of them's got a soul. Both of them is in here because they need our help. Both of them go to the top. Okay. We're not going to make differences just because somebody can drop money in the office. Okay. I mean, it doesn't take that much money to buy a pair of boots. Okay. So we'll leave off right there. But I could go on, but on that I don't know. I have to eat some chicken liver thing. All right. Hope you got something out of it this morning. Just remember service tonight, 6 o'clock early. And so everybody can come back out and be with us. And we got our anniversary service coming up on the starting the 24th, right, Bob? Right. So starting on the 24th, we got that coming up. And then on November the 11th, Brother Richards will be back here for revival. It's the thing that is coming back. Then left back here at Chesapeake Park. We got the, what do they call it? Oktoberfest, okay? We're gonna have a booth set up down there. Everybody come out, buy something, get you some hot dogs, get you some hamburgers, get you some stuff that we're gonna have down there, all right? Just right in that set up for us, all right? So, always enjoy going down there. Y'all know me, I enjoy walking around. And Jack and my dog.
I want to thank all the ladies for all the good food that they brought this time.
Oh, man, yeah.
All right.
Well, next time we have food, sunshine can't eat.
Oh, yes, I